and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about a life lesson I was thinking about on settling. I recently shared a quote on my Instagram that says, "What you settle for is what you'll live." And I've been thinking about settling in general and how I'm basically trying to create a life for myself where I don't feel like I'm settling anymore. I don't know what happened like in my earlier years, but I just felt like growing up I was just settling a lot, and maybe not so much in like my childhood years, but like maybe straight out of school, it just felt like I wasn't really living life the way I wanted to. And so I've been working really hard over the last several years to try to develop my ultimate dream life, and I feel like I've manifested and created some really awesome things, but I still have times where I feel like I have to settle. And I just wanted to share a recent settling experience and also what you can do about that and how you can use that as fuel to propel yourself towards your dream life. So at the beginning of the year, I picked several events that I wanted to do just because I thought they would be fun to do and life enriching, and one of those was going to VidCon. I always see a bunch of cool videos about it, I hear people talk about it, I was like, I'm on YouTube, I should probably go to this. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, I don't think this is going to work out this year because of two main reasons, and one was a lack of money and one was a lack of time. So regarding the lack of money, technically I can afford to go, but I have a lot of other travel events coming up, and as someone who grew up with not really a lot of money, I tend to kind of always feel like I don't have that much, and spending money can sometimes be uncomfortable for me, especially around travel, because although I've been able to like figure out a way that I'm like happy buying fancy lattes and doing stuff like that, with travel I do have some mental blocks around that because growing up I just didn't really go anywhere. Like I didn't go on my first plane ride until I was 18, and that was through an event through school that we didn't have to pay for. And then on the second point, I feel like I have a lack of time. So because I work a 9 to 5, I get a certain allocated number of vacation days, and to be honest, my number of vacation days has always given me a bit of anxiety because I'm the kind of person who likes to go to conferences and events, and it just seems like my vacation days get eaten up by me going to things like Zumba convention and conferences, and I end up spending most of my vacation time doing things that, yes, they're awesome. I'm so happy and fortunate that I'm able to go, that I have the time, that I have the money to do these things. But also, I like to be able to have a little bit more time to myself, time to have me days, time to have more vacation days. And I feel like right now I just don't have as many vacation days as I really need to be able to make this VidCon conference happen. I am going to Zumba convention later this month, and I'm doing another event kind of somewhat last minute that's sort of taking up, I guess, my time and money that I had for VidCon. And yes, I did make a choice to do that instead of the other, but what I'm trying to build is a life where it isn't about this or that, where I can do both things, and I have the time and the money to do both of those things because they're things that I want to do, and they're things that I think will be cool life experiences, and like, why not? I feel like, we live in a society where it's a little bit like, oh, you're lucky if you can do this one thing, or, don't try to be too ambitious, but it's like, why not though? Like, who's saying you can't do all these things? If you want to do all these things, why not just build a life where you can do all those things? And so that's where I want to talk about the next point, which is taking your moments of settling and using that as fuel to build your dream life. So what are some lessons that we can learn from the situation? Because I'm the kind of person who I like to try to learn something from all situations, even the bad ones. And so in this case, the first thing is that I want to build for myself a more wealthy and abundant life. I want to be able to have the money so that I don't have to make these kinds of decisions based on money alone, where it's more like, do I really want to do this? Is it really worth the investment? Not, oh, can I afford this because I'm already doing this other trip later in the month? Because those things don't really need to be related to each other for any particular reason. And then on the second point, I'd like to gain more time independence. So that's the ability to spend my time how I want to spend it, so that I don't feel so dependent on these vacation days, and I can live my life a little bit more how I want to live it, doing the things I want to do. Yeah, it's not realistic for me to just say, oh, I'm never going to work again, so I think I'm just going to spend the rest of my life traveling, but there are plenty of people who are living super wealthy and abundant lives, super time independent lives. And so it's a matter of not, I think it's important to not give into the settling and say, oh, well, that's just the life I'm gonna have, because if that's your attitude, that is the life you're gonna have. But if instead you take a look at the situation, you say, here are the reasons that I'm having to settle in this situation, and how can I make it so that I don't have to make these kinds of settling decisions in the future, that is how you get on the path to living your dream life, living life on your terms. So I think it's really important and good to pay attention to these times when you're settling and figure out, what does this mean about myself? What kinds of changes do I need to try to make in my life? And this will give you ideas for things that you can work on with your manifesting, with your journaling, with your scripting, things that you just want to move your life in the direction to. So if you want to keep learning about different ways you can manifest your dream life, definitely stay tuned to this channel because I have a lot more awesome videos on these topics coming up. In fact, I'm thinking of doing one just dedicated on how to stop settling in life, because I feel like I've managed to get over the hump of settling for a lot of things in the past. And also, you can sign up for the waitlist for my upcoming mindset makeover training, because in that training, I'm going to be teaching you some of the secret mindset shifts that I've used to get myself into a higher vibrational frequency so that I feel like things are more naturally and easily flowing to me. There'll be things that you can learn to apply towards making your dream life a reality. If you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because that really supports my channel. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.